Welcome back, students. Welcome to the second video in this installment of introductions here. So as you log in, you will see something like this on your home page. If you click on the Introduction to Math 15 and Me, that is the previous video you just probably saw. So if you need to go back to it, you can. But in this video, we're going to tackle the whole concept of the syllabus. So let's jump to it here. The syllabus tab is the fifth tab down on the left hand side. Clicking on that, this should describe the whole entire class for you. So let's go through it piece by piece. If you have any further questions about the syllabus, please email me, and I can make you even maybe make a frequently asked questions sort of email out afterwards here. So this is Math 15. It's a pre-calculus class. It is scheduled for this semester, and it is online. And so with that, I'll explain what are the components that are online. But first, before we get that, let's go to the textbook. Here's the textbook of the class. And the question always is, do you need a physical textbook, or do you need a textbook for the class? So and the answer is, when you go to the MyLab Math website and you sign up for the publisher's website, the publisher materials are on there. So there's an ebook already. It is the exact same ebook, or the exact same book that you're using for this class. So you do have an ebook already for the class, and I'll show it to you in the last video for the introductions. But if you do want a physical textbook in your hand, then here's the information for it. So in summary, the answer is you do need a textbook. You do have an ebook already with the online platform you're going to get, and it's optional for you to get a physical textbook in your hand. Alright, with that, let's go to, my name is Arkady Hunjiev. Here is my phone number. This is the office phone number in case you ever need to reach me. Obviously, this is summertime and I'm not going to be there. But if you want to call, leave a voicemail, it does go to my email directly. So I'll hear or the voicemail that you left for me. Here's the email for me. You can email me anytime here. And real quick here, you do need to email me, as we'll go over attendance in just a second here. You do need to email me if you plan on staying in the class. And so you have a little bit of time to do so. About the class itself, just a general description here. You do need there is a prerequisite for the class. So you do need to have passed this math class already. It's called MATH-015, or the equivalent. It's called Intermediate Algebra, in order to be in this class. And this class is an intensive class. It covers a lot of things you should have covered maybe in the algebra class, but we're going to cover it in more depth. So the linear functions, we're just going to cover more in depth. Quadratic, polynomial, exponential, and logarithmic. You probably should at least have some kind of familiarity with those. And then we're also going to go into the trigonometric functions and their graphs. And so there's a lot of work, a lot of compacted things in this class here. And so if we look at the objectives for the class, there are 18 things that we have to cover. I'm not going to go over them since you don't know them yet. Alright, but I am going to jump to this little other part here called the student learning outcomes. And so towards the end of the class, you will have a test on these 4 topics here. So student learning outcomes are things that, or the skills that as math faculty we got together and we said, what are the 4 basic things that the students need to know in order for them to have a good handle on the class and be able to go to the next class. So this is it right here. So the main essential things, it's almost like a basics idea of the class. And so you have an exam on these things the day before the final. And so by then, you should know them pretty well. Alright, let's jump to the institutional student learning outcomes. And so if you take a class at West Hills College, you probably have done one of these 7 things. So communications competency, that's more like the speech class, maybe even English class. Analytic inquiry, that's more like critical thinking. Our class, the math class, falls under number 3, quantitative reasoning. And so we do a lot of computational things, and so we get that math fluency. Alright, let's go on to the lecture here. So the lectures, they're going to be initially posted on the My Courses site. Technically they are YouTube videos that I've created while I was teaching this same class in the classroom itself. And so there are notes that I have made for you that you can provide you with and you download the notes and you can use them to follow the lectures. That will be explained more in the next video. But the attendance, here's the 2 underlined items you do need to do today or tomorrow here. So initially, if you want to stay in this class, you need to email me stating that you want to stay in the class, and you need to do it the first day of class. As summer courses are so compact, they go so fast, I need to know which students are going to stay and which students are not. Additionally, you do need to sign up for the MyLab Math by the end of the first week. You do have a 14-day free trial, so that gives you 2 weeks just to understand if this is the class for you, if you want to keep on going with the class. And if you do want to keep on going with the class, then you will need to purchase the My Math Lab. Last time I checked, it was $89 to purchase on the website. There's also, you can also purchase it in the bookstore at West Hills College Kalinga. You can also purchase it on Amazon. All those options are available to you. A note here is that if you do want to drop this class, if this class is too much or things happen that you do have to drop, it is your responsibility to drop the class. And since your academic record is your responsibility, if you no longer wish to attend, you make sure that you go to the portal page and you delete this course off your courses list. Alright, so what are the components of this online class? First of all, there will be online homework. That is going to be done in the My Lab Math. It is due according to a set calendar, which I'll bring up in the next video. And it is going to be done with a due time of 11:59, so a day before midnight of that day. You do have unlimited attempts on each of the homework questions to answer them correctly, so use it as a way to understand the lectures and see if you're getting the lectures. One small change I make specifically for Chapter 1, since some people will be changing classes, some people come in a little bit late to register for the class. So just for Chapter 1, I made all the homework due the same day as the Chapter 1 test. So that for this class, there'll be Monday of next week. That's when all of Chapter 1 homework is due. Starting Chapter 2, since if you stay in the class, you should be all set. Then the due dates are set according to a calendar that I've devised. It will be given in the next video. Alright, the next sequence of points you get is by chapter exams or chapter tests. You will do them on the My Lab Math site. They'll be part of the homework, except the only change is you do only have 4 attempts to get the correct answer. So you have limited attempts here, as opposed to an infinite that you have earlier. So you may want to go back through the homework to make sure you understand the skills and concepts before you start attempting the chapter tests. Then this is the student learning outcome exam I talked to you about earlier. This one is going to be different. This one's going to be on the Canvas site. So I'll give you directions. I'll give you an email as we get to it. It is worth 100 points, or about roughly 10% of your grade. And it is the main basic items that you have learned in the class. So this should be not too bad of an exam for you. Then you do also have discussion boards. You will have 5 discussion boards. First and foremost, they will be on the Canvas site, and not the My Math Lab site. And there will be 5 of them. They are worth 20 points each. So first you'll get 10 points to present your own view of things or your initial post to the discussion board, and then you're required to respond to 2 other posts at 5 points apiece. So that would be 20 points per discussion board. And this is going to go on for 5 weeks, and since you are just setting up things in the first week, there is no discussion boards the first week. The discussion boards will start Monday of week 2 of our class, and then they will go to Friday of each week. So I'll close them up on Friday at 5 p.m. Alright, the other pieces. The midterm. So midterm is the other piece of the points here. This was going to be a proctored exam. You will have to come in to a campus, and I'll discuss that a little bit later with you about proctoring. You're still going to log into the My Lab Math, and this time you will only have 2 attempts to get the correct answer, and there's a penalty on your second attempt. So 2 attempts, the second attempt gives you a 10% penalty. So the midterm is scheduled for June 8th. I have not got the classroom availability, and I have not got the exact time for it. So as soon as I get that, I will send off an email. I'll also send you a campus map so that you know where you should be going for the exam. The final exam is very similar. The final exam is going to cover a lot of the topics. It'll be cumulative. It'll go all the way back from the beginning. And the setup is the same. Again, 2 attempts for the correct answer. The second attempt, there's a 10% penalty. The final set for August 2nd. In fact, hold on, let me go back to the midterm. I think I said June 8th for the midterm. It's July 8th. July 8th is the midterm. The final exam is August 2nd. And again, same thing here. I do not know the availability of the classroom yet. I don't know the exact time. As soon as I get that, I will send you an email as well as with a campus map. So let's talk about proctoring. This is important, especially for online class. So if you live more than 70 miles away from the Kalinga campus, you are eligible to have your exam proctored at a different location. That different location is going to be a local university or junior college. You will have to set that up yourself, and you have to set that up in the first 2 weeks of class so that we're not setting up things last minute. The only exception is if you live in Firebaugh or close to Firebaugh and you live next to the NDC campus, you are eligible to go and have your exam proctored there. You will have to set it up yourself. You have to call the front desk, and they will give you instructions on how to set that up and who to call. Alright, I do want these things set up. If you're planning not to come to the Kalinga campus, please email me saying that you live so many miles away from campus, and then that you are planning or have already went to a nearby junior college or university, and that you have set up a proctoring time. And email me that time, because I'll have to make the appropriate arrangements in sending proctoring information. Alright, next thing on the list here is contacting the instructor. So if you have a general question about the course, please email me. I will respond to emails usually within 48 hours. And then in regards to office hours, this is a summer class, so technically I'm not required to hold office hours. If there's a need, and I see in the email thread that a lot of people are having need to go over things, I can do that, as well as participation. So I can set up weekly office hours for the good of the group. I'll be willing to do that. If you're stuck on a homework question, please take the time to email me. I'll respond either with a quick video, or we can set up the office hours. So the drop date for this class is listed on the course catalog. Make sure that you know what that is. If you are enrolled after the date, I will have to give you a letter grade in the class. And like I said before, if you wish not to complete the class, the obligation rests on you to drop. So the grade scale for this class, all the online homework completed will give you a total of 200 points. The chapter tests are worth 200 points. The student learning outcome exam is worth 100 points. The discussion responses, there's going to be 5 of them at 20 points apiece, so 100 points. The midterm is worth 200 points, and the final 200. So a grand total of 1,000 points. Oh, very good rounded number there. Alright, in addition to the grade scale, here's one little disclaimer, is that the average between your midterm and your final has to be at least 70%. So this is to mitigate any cheating, especially if you have homework at home in front of your computer, just to make sure that someone else is not doing it for you, and then you come in and bomb the midterm and final and still pass the class. So it is you, it is your integrity and your responsibility to do the homework, and you be the one learning the material, for you to be doing the chapter tests online, and to prepare yourself to come in to take the midterm as well as the final exams in a proctored situation. All right, the other piece is the conduct. It just a disclaimer to say that if you having behavior that are forbidden by school regulations or disturbing to other members of the class, I can tell you to leave from the classroom, or I can remove you from the classroom, and you will end up giving an F in the class. The other side of it is that we do have support services at West Hills College. There's lots of support services. There's CalWorks Career Center. There's EOPS, or Extended Opportunities for Students. There's Veteran Services. So if you think you qualify for any of these services, take the time to look at the description for them in the catalog, and there will always be a number there. One I would like to mention specifically is the Disabled Student Programs and Service, called the DSPS office. If you know or think that you have a learning disability, take the time to go to their website, as well as you can call them, and they can set up an appointment for you to come in, and you'll get help with any learning disability you have. The only thing I say is please do that in the first 2 weeks, especially with the summer class, that things go so fast, so I can make the accommodations for you during this semester. So that is the end of the syllabus. Like I said earlier, please email me with any other questions, maybe things I forgot and did not cover in the syllabus itself. And with that, if there's enough questions coming to me, then I will make a little email and I'll send it out to everybody with the answers to the questions that have come in. All right, thanks so much. Thanks for taking the time to listen to the video on the syllabus.